17th, 2023, 5 p.m. Let the minutes reflect that 4 members are present, with Mrs. Farley unable to attend. Let me make sure she is not trying to call in. She is not, so we will proceed without Ms. Farley. Oh, wait, she says she is ready to try to call in, so we do have Ms. Farley. Let me get her on the line real quick.
Oh, she just said that to me.
Hello, okay, we have you on now. Okay, so we have 4 members present with Mrs. Farley dialed in. I would like to ask, we have several students with us here tonight. We have some members from FFA, and we also have some members from the track team that qualified for the state track tournament. We would like to ask the students, if you all would, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is behind you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, item 3, we have approval of the agenda and adjustments. So we do have, Mr. Ward, I didn't get a chance to talk to you, but I did talk to Cassandra a little bit about the bills.
Okay.
There was one on here for $28,000, the Mobile Communication America. I did ask her if that was going to be under the $25,000, or on the agenda item of bills over $25,000. And she said she wasn't sure because it was somewhat of a recurring purchase, but it wasn't normally this large.
Right.
So, I don't know if you all want to put it under there, we can. If not, if you have any questions about it, we can deal with that when we get to the bills.
I just feel like since you're making note of it in public, that should suffice for this time.
Okay.
And the zones.
Pardon me?
And the zones one is also.
Oh, the zones, yeah. Let me see where that's at. Sorry, thank you for reminding me.
Sorry.
Yeah, the zones IT solution, so that's 2,500 on this one. Is it 25,000?
There's 2 of them. There's one that's 33,900, and then there's one that's like 2,000 something.
Okay, yeah, 33,960. So this was just some technology for the middle school edition. Again, we can talk about that when we get the bills, or we can pull it out and handle it separately on over 25,000. However you all want to proceed.
We may need to just give a little more detail about it when we get to the bills.
We can do it. We'll just ask. We'll just leave it as is, and.
I just wanted to point it out since
Yep.
they were bigger.
Okay. Mr. Brogan, do you have an adjustment?
I do not.
Oh, I think I do. I do. I need to pull Rick's the other.
Okay, you want to put that in a motion?
Oh, yes, sorry. I'd like to make a motion to pull the Rick's Theater bill to be voted on separately.
I'm sorry, I had missed R.T. Rogers.
I'll second the motion to pull Ritz Theater. So there's a motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by myself, that Ritz Theater bill be pulled and handled separately when we get to the bills. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, we will pull Ritz and handle that separately.
I'd like to make a motion that we pull R.T. Rogers all out to be voted on separately as well.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, that we pull R.T. Rogers out and handle that separately. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, we will pull out R.T. Rogers' bill and handle that separately. I think there are any others.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as read with the aforementioned adjustments.
A second.
Motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, that we approve the agenda as read with the aforementioned adjustments. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote, the agenda has been approved as read with mentioned adjustments. Item number 4, we have presentations. Summers County Comprehensive High School cross-country state meet. Avery Lilly, Dakota Avery's here. We have
Not
Mr.
yet.
Petrie, Dakota Petrie, and Coach Sarah Griffin.
Okay.
Come on up.
Run up here. Yeah.
Come on over, it's fine. I don't know where you're going, but, yeah, Avery, she may be running behind, so she may pop in, she might not. So Avery Lilly and Dakota Petrie, Dakota's a sophomore, Avery's a junior, they both made it to the cross-country state meet this year. They qualified at, the regional event in Charleston Catholic, and, so cross-country, it's a 5K, it's 3.11 miles at just one big old race. So Avery, at the state meet, she ran, she placed 37th out of 67 single A girls. That's a lot of fast girls, for single A. She ran a 22:59, coming in 37th place. Avery consistently she increased her time throughout the whole season, got better, and then ended up placing, to be able to go to, I believe she placed 5th in the regional event, the top 10 go to the states. Her PR of the season, I guess, was a 22:37. She, got that at the Coalfield Conference, and she was the second best single A in the Coalfield Conference as well. She also had a first place finish in a race this year at our Lake Stevens event, so she was the single best runner for that. And those races, most of our races, we ran against AAA and AA schools. So Dakota, he's a sophomore, and this is his second appearance at states. He went last year as a freshman as well. Last year, I believe he placed in about 51st place, which, I mean, you know, it's first time going as a freshman, and so that was a big thing. But this year, they predicted him in, I think around a 46th place finish, and he ran an 18-minute and 12-second 5K. So that's a 5-minute, 51-second mile pace. In doing that, he placed 22nd out of 77 single A boys. You know, a top 20 finish is pretty big in a regular race. It's pretty big in a state race, so he was real close with that. And in doing so, from everything that we can pull, he also broke the school record for the 5K with that 18:12 at that state meet. He was also named, so out of the 77 boys for single A, the whole conference, he was named the performer of the state meet for his performance, for overperforming his prediction and just a significant increase in what they thought his time would be. He also had a first place finish at our Lake Stevens meet as well, so Avery and Dakota both swept that meet when we had it, and I believe he had an 8th place finish at our regional event to qualify for the state meet. He was also named the single A best boys runner of the Coalfield Conference this season. So, like I said, they both raced AAA, AA schools throughout the whole season and still placed to medal. Most races, top 10, top 20 place. So it's not an easy thing to place and medal, especially with AA and single A, AAA schools. So they both did very well. Looking for bigger things in the future for them. And yeah, I guess that's what we have for them.
And what was the nickname for your coach?
Sarge.
Okay.
Sorry.
Coach Sarge. Well,
Very good. I did tell, I did tell Dakota that, if he wanted to increase his training a little bit, he could come to the farm, because the bull can cross the field in 9 seconds. He only has to cross it in 8.8. So, he wanted to do the picture.
Well, the only thing I can say is, that's a high risk there. You're smarter than that, aren't you? Yes. No? Yeah, we can get a picture real quick. You wanna do it in front of this,
Yeah.
over here? Sarge, get in there. You gotta have Sarge in this picture.
for that presentation. Item number 5, public comments. No, thank you. Item 6, approval of minutes. We have the minutes from the October 24th regular meeting and the November 2nd special meeting.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the
Second.
October 24th and November 2nd meeting.
I'll second.
Motion by Mrs. Harvey, seconded by Mr. McBride, that we approve the minutes from the October 24th regular meeting and the November 2nd special meeting. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Greg, I will abstain since I don't have them in front of me to review.
Okay, all right.
I was away on that, wasn't that long?
So we have 3 in favor with 2 abstentions. So that passed 5-3. All right, item 7, approval of bills. So let's handle first the writs. Okay. All right, so the first bill we have before us is for the Ritz Theater.
I'll make a motion to pay the bill on Ritz Theater.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. McBride to pay the bill in the Ritz Theater. I will
I'll
second.
second.
Okay, Mrs. Farley seconds. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 3-0 vote that the bill for Ritz Theater has been approved. Next bill will be for R.T. Rogers. I'll make a motion that we approve payment for the bill for R.T. Rogers.
Second.
I'll agree.
Seconded by Mr. McBride. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect that that bill has passed by a 3-0 vote with 2 abstentions. And the previous vote had 2 abstentions as well.
Two recused.
Yeah,
Recused,
recused,
so,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. Deal or no deal?
Yeah.
All right, item 8, approve purchases over 25,000. None listed.
Did you wanna finish the rest of the
Oh,
bills?
yes, we do, thank
That's
you.
all right.
We haven't forced the rest of the bills. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion, we pay the rest of the bills.
Okay,
Second.
Mr. McBride seconds. So we have a motion to pay the rest of the bills, by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride. Any discussion? I'll just mention, as I said before, the bill for mobile communications, that is something that we do have to pay annually, but it's usually not that much. But they had to replace the repeaters. Did you say you replaced the repeaters on all the buses?
No,
Or was it just a
it wasn't
larger
all of them,
number?
it was just a good portion of them.
Okay.
Those repeaters now, I could be wrong on this, but now everything's moved to digital.
That's what I
So that
Changes technology.
changes, yeah, the price quite a bit when you update that stuff.
So the zones big invoice, that's probably gonna be the same answer as before, but why is that not under COVID funding?
It is under code.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
And that was for
For-
smart boards
Smart boards.
in the new edition.
Okay.
So basically, the smart boards are like these TVs that'll go in each classroom, but bigger and better than this.
And we did have one bill for Prince Management, and we will have one more, is that correct? So we'll have one more for him. And then the other large purchase was the Radford, and that's for the concrete on the new sixth grade wing.
Yeah.
So,
Is the bill from Prince Management, is that just a delayed bill, or is he still doing a few things up there?
He's finishing up punch out stuff, like right now, they're finishing putting the mats on the wall, cause those were ordered, but they never came in, so he's just trying to do a punch out list, if you will. So we're about done with them.
All right, so we have a motion by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride. Is there any more discussion? All in favor of paying the bills, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the remainder of the bills have been approved for payment. Items over 25,000, we have none, okay. I'm gonna let Mr. McBride take over item B under new business, and I will recuse myself.
Okay, under item 8B, discussion and possible action to approve overnight trip by Kathy Duffield, FAU, December 7th through the 9th, 2023.
I make a motion that we approve the trip for Ms. Duffield.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. Let the record reflect that the motion carries by a 4-0 vote for Mr. Angel recusing himself.
All right, new business, item C, discussion or possible action to place policy out for public comment. This is for Roman numeral 4-G-1, substitutes in area of critical need and shortage.
You can see there that it's also a need for the current school year, and basically we do this about every year, it seems like, so there's nothing really different other than a new calendar year.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we put this policy out for review for substitutes in critical, areas of critical need and shortage.
Second.
Motion by Mr. McBride, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, that we put the policy substitutes in areas of critical need and shortage out for review for public comment. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the policy substitutes in area of critical need and shortage has been approved to place for public comment. Item D, new business, discussion or possible action for compensation in lieu of free lunches for those on lunch duty. Mr. Brogan, I'll turn this over to you, sir.
All right, I just asked for this to be put on there for, discussion. That's all that it is discussion at this point. I have some thoughts of where it goes from here, we'll just have to see, but I want to ask Cassandra if you wouldn't mind to see, rather than give just a free lunch for serving on lunch duty, if we just pay a flat $10 amount, and then see what that would cost approximately. I know it's hard to know exactly how many folks are actually doing the lunch duty, probably different days or what have you, and maybe a $15 a day.
I can look into it.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head how many people do, but.
Right, oh, I'm sure, yeah, let's put it on the agenda for next time, and maybe talk about it again.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else has anything to add, but that's all I've got for now.
What does it cost for, so if a teacher were to buy lunch, what would that cost be? Do we have $4?
$4.25, is it?
It's $4.
For a teacher? Okay, that's $4, I could.
Okay. That's all I had.
And I said I was done, but I'll throw this out there as well. I know there are other duties that are performed by teachers throughout the day. But unless labor laws are different in schools, because I certainly don't know all the laws, I feel like we're probably required to give the teachers a 30-minute lunch.
Yes, everybody gets a 30-minute lunch.
Okay. So
Uninterrupted.
that is why I feel like this may be different than other duties, because the other times they're already on a clock, and I wouldn't, probably some of the duties other duties like hall duty bus duty or whatever, it's probably in their job description, I would assume.
Well, not necessarily, because this is where someone could file a grievance. They could say, well, if you're paying that, then I should be paid for some of the duties that I've been asked to do. So, for example, Talcott Elementary, Ms. Janice, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, because you were the principal there. Doesn't Talcott have a little bit longer day because of the buses picking kids up because of, from one end of the county to the other? They're watching those kids a little bit longer?
Yes.
On average, yeah, so you get into that play then with that, and then recess duty, and then any other duties that you could think of. So let's say I'm a coach, and kids aren't getting picked up at the time they should get picked up. Is that considered a duty now, because I'm waiting on a kid to get picked up 30 minutes after practice was already over? So you get into those, and I'm glad we have this as a discussion item only. I think those are the questions you have to ask yourself on what is the fair way to do it, and the best way schools do it at this point in time is they provide a free lunch basically for that time on that duty, so.
Mr. Angel, may I ask a question regarding the discussion?
It has to be the discussion among the.
I didn't know if I could ask
Yeah,
a question.
Sorry.
I think right now at the two schools out in the country, Jumping Branch and Talcott, I think right now they're making it work with staggered, start and end day, end time.
So like if you come to work, I'll give an example. This doesn't mean it's exactly this, but if, like when I was principal, if you stayed after, then I didn't expect you to come in as early. If you came in early, then you didn't have to stay after. So you try to balance out that workday with all the labor laws, if you, like you said earlier, because we do have 1,000-page 9 font back two-sided on all that labor law issue. So the thing that I would caution is, could that set yourself up for a grievance? And I know Mr. McBride knows how that works with busing, how you could have a domino effect of, you tried to help out here, but then it became a domino effect somewhere else in the county. So just caution that, because then you also say, well, the next question, attorney might ask you, why did you pick that amount of money? And I'm not asking you to answer that. I'm just saying those are the kind of questions that I can't answer if a grievance would be filed. That is what I'm saying. So we have to be cautious on working that out. But she can crunch all those numbers, and we could try to figure out all the different duties. We can call other counties to see what all they've been doing too. But
I heard this is something that they do in Marshall County, so maybe we could
okay.
reach out to them and see how they handle it.
Well, tomorrow we have an ESC meeting, so I can maybe just throw that out there for people.
It's in Mercer County,
Yeah, it is.
so perfect timing.
That's what made me think of that, actually.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So
I
we'll
won't stay
take-
there for their lunch duty, but I'll be there, ask them their questions.
Take no action on 8D. Item 9, personnel.
Mr. Angel, I mistakenly overlooked, pulling Joe Farley out to, vote on separately because I would have to abstain from that.
So we can go ahead and handle that one separately here. So, we have him listed.
You're basically recused.
Yeah, we're recusing you at this point. So let's go ahead and handle a leave of absence at this point. This is for Joe Farley, and he's a bus operator. He's he's requesting a leave of absence for medical.
I make a motion that we approve Joey Farley's leave of absence request.
Have a motion by Mr. Broden, seconded by Mrs. Harvey, that we approve the request for Mr. Joe Farley. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining. The minutes reflect by a 4-0 vote with one member recusing herself, that this has been approved for the leave of absence. We now have before us the remainder of the personnel items. We have resignation and retirements. We have employment professional. We have employment professional extracurricular, employment substitute teachers, and employment substitute services, auxiliary coaches at Summers County Comprehensive High School, service personnel reclassification. And all these have been posted as required by our policy for the required amount of time.
I'll make a motion that we approve the superintendent's recommendation for the aforementioned positions.
Second.
Motion was made by Mr. Brogan, seconded by Mr. McBride, that we approve the superintendent's recommendation for the remaining personnel items. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining. Let the minutes reflect by a 5-0 vote that the personnel items recommended by the superintendent have been approved. Item 10, superintendent's report.
The two things I'd like to talk about is, one is the levy. Talked to Roger Hunter today from Bowles Rice, Cassandra and I did, and we asked him his opinion on, I think, Mr. Angel, you made a request of putting a formula for people to plug and chug, how it would affect their taxes possibly. He said it would probably best if we gave them like a scenario of $100,000 home, and 60% of appraisal would bring it down to 60,000. Multiply the 35% for whether you're a 2 or a 3 or a 4, and let people kind of see off of that. He said if you put a plug and chug, sometimes people might have wrong information, and that could skew people's thought process to think they might get this or that. Now, what we can do is maybe if we put stuff out there for them to research a little bit to say, here's what your house is appraised at, here's what that percent would be. If you multiply that number, that would give you a ballpark figure for the whole year. That's one way of doing it. He said that's basically how they've done it in the past, because if you do the plug and chug, the formula, if our formula would be a little skewed, incorrect, then we have misled people, or not on purpose, but you know what I'm saying. And then the other is, it's probably best for them to do their own research, because we've given the general factors of how an assessed value would be on something. Mr. Vandal, our county assessor, said this counts businesses and homes now. The average is, the median, I should say, not the average, the median is $74,000. So people's houses are closer to 60, but you have to throw in businesses. That's why the average comes out to 74. So what we could do is maybe base it off 100,000 and go from there so people could see that, and then put at the bottom, they have a disclaimer that this is an example of someone's home that might not be particular to you, and also put an exemption on there that you could be homestead exemption could change your price dramatically, because you take 20,000 off the top right away. It's not at the very end, it's at the beginning. So people have to understand how that all works. I know it's clear as mud, right?
No, it makes sense what he said, because like, as he indicated, if they're uncertain of what class their property falls in, they put the wrong number, that could give them a false sense of what they would actually be paying. So that makes sense.
Well, what we've done is, Ms. Harvey was with me and Cassandra today with the Delphi Club. Basically, that is what we're using right now to show people what the levy would generate. That's an approximate number of 1.5 million for each year for 5 years. And those are the three items we keep talking about. And so far, not only the Delphi Club, but is it the Wednesday Club? Is that the one we're at, ladies? Sorry, there's so many different clubs with Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursday clubs. I don't know which one I'm at, but what was nice is both clubs understood that. They liked that it was simplistic and it was all for students. You can see that whole page is for students. There's nothing there for raises or benefits, and they also liked that there wasn't extra stuff thrown in there that was thrown in there at the last levy. They feel like that has a better chance for people to swallow that pill versus all the other stuff that was thrown in there. That's the feedback we're receiving right now. But we're gonna work with Roger. He and another gentleman from Bowles Rice are gonna work with Cassandra and I, and we're gonna keep plugging and chugging to get you guys a nice package deal by the time we get to January, to really show people this is what these amounts look like. The next 2 months, I can still go out gravel board member too, and we can talk to some groups of people. We gotta keep it like this right now until we know the exact numbers so people can really chew on that. But at this point in time, if you take that $100,000 and we multiplied it, it would be around $198 for a year for your taxes. That's $12 to $16 a month, if you look at it that way. So I think people could kind of get an idea about where their taxes would be for a levy. So I get it, that's different though. If you have farmland, that's now a different ball of wax because you have more land. Now you're doing quantity, not necessarily quality. But that's why you have these different levels that they have with taxes when it's, are you being taxed at a 2, 3, 4, well, 3s and 4s are in the same boat, but that 2 with farmland, it's not as much, but it still doesn't matter because it's how much you have. So now you're multiplying it by a bigger number. So people have to understand that as we move forward. Do you guys have any questions or any more discussion about that? Because I only have one more item to discuss. Are we pretty good there?
I think so.
All right. I see Mr. Brogan.
It's for my,
Okay.
I've got 11 tracts of land, I just wonder what that's gonna do to me.
Well, it'll be more than 198 for the year, I can tell you that. But on a different note, the construction at the middle school, I think we're moving more on track now. We had a great meeting today. Pickerington will be here tomorrow because they're going to make sure, one last time, the first row of block have been laid on the new footers. All that rebar is ready to go with that. And tomorrow we're going to get the A-OK from Pickerington, because if we don't, I might go home and cry, because I'm telling you, this is getting old real quick. It's 6 times to get this right. So Pickerington, they'll have a person there to do all the points. If they give it the green light, they have another Mason group coming, that they're called the Mustang Masonry Group. They're coming in to help lay blocks so we can get this done. With this weather that we have, if we continue like this, I think we can make up some time, and the date of May could still happen by this. I'm not saying complete finish, but substantially complete versus pushing into August. So let's keep our fingers crossed and hope things will go well. I will definitely give you guys an update tomorrow once I find out that the points are good, because Pickerington has been good for everybody to have them keep, we'll call it an honest point of the way they're doing their job right now. So everything is moving in the right direction. Once they start the walls up, they're going to continue to put steel bracing across the hallway of the 6th grade wing, and they'd like to come around and get that all under roof here pretty soon to get that 6th grade hall under roof. The windows from Window World are ready to go to put in the windows for the 6th grade side. The 7th and 8th, those are getting drywalled, and they're prepping it for paint. And they're moving pretty quick now, so we'll see how it goes, guys. Do you guys have any questions about that at all, other than you're frustrated like me?
Just hope to goodness for that green light tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll let you guys know as soon as possible.
I would like to hold one of our future meetings
Right there?
at the school.
Yeah.
So that we can do a walkthrough after the meeting. Maybe they'll go, first one in December, the last one in November.
Okay, you want to just try the next one in
That's fine.
November?
Yeah.
That would be great. Matter of fact, they're gonna add another breaker system to a box in the auditorium so they can run some more heat. They like to get some more heat so they can keep mudding and get ready for painting. While Thanksgiving break happens next week, they're gonna finish up some painting in 2 classrooms that Miss Serball is the biggest one, where that window is replaced by block. They're gonna get that painting done. Monday and Tuesday, we might have to keep people from being at that property because they're messing with water. So I know that can mess up basketball practice, but we do have a gym up here that they can use. So Monday and Tuesday, we're gonna play that one by ear. But Roger, I introduced Roger to our AD, Kathy Blevins. So Roger and Kathy will be in coordination with one another. He'll know to let her know if she can, tell the 2 coaches they can have practice, or to Plan B, come up here. But right now, Plan B is, Plan A is here. So, that's good though. It's over Thanksgiving break. That won't be that big of a deal. But hopefully we'll all have it under roof by the end of this year, because I need to get those big arches set on top of that gym so we can get moving, guys. So we're getting there.
All right, thank you. Mr. McBride. All right.
motion we adjourn, the time is 5:35.
Relatively painless.
Thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
Thanks for
Thanks,
doing
Get some rest.
For 3 days, I'm gonna sleep for 3 days.
Now, if Joey rings his bell, you won't.
Thank you so much.
You're right.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
That's $5. Give me two? No.
Yeah. Don't miss.
Don't ask